Beginner's Guide is a teensy little indie game from the same guy who made the Stanley Parable. So I heard that and I bought it just because of that. Stanley Parable, it's a walking simulator, sure. The narrator is so quippy, it's very comedic, it's very satirical, it's very clever, and it's very unique. And I'd say it's well worth the $6, $7, $8 you can find it for. The Beginner's Guide is kind of a bait and switch because anybody who came here because they like the Stanley Parable. And granted, you shouldn't be expecting exactly the Stanley Parable because you don't want to make the same game again. You want them to do something different, but it's like everyone, I felt like cheated. I felt conned. Beginner's Guide is another like fourth wall breaking game, but it's far more serious than it seems like it should be. And the whole game, you're waiting for it to get crazy. And you're like, where's the twist? When are you going to start really breaking the fourth wall? And it never does. The humor and everything of the Stanley Parable is just gone, and the game feels very dry and empty because of it. So what happens is, the developer of the game, like, presumably, and if this is based on, like, a real-life thing, or if it's just a narration he wrote for the game, I don't care. But somebody's talking to you, and it's the developer of the game, The Beginner's Guide, and supposedly he's showing you a bunch of games his friend made. His friend's named Coda. He's like, hey, my friend Coda sent me all these games in a little zip file, and that's what you're playing. You're playing through Coda's games, which are, they're not games. They're walk around, and there's a gun in one of them, but there's nothing to shoot. He's commenting on how the games are unfinished and raw, and, like, how they look, and they're all weird, which might come off as an excuse to have the game itself be unfinished and raw. Leave that up to you. So as you play through these games, the developer's telling you about, like, the games that he got sent, or making him start to worry about his friends. Like, dude, are you okay? Are you okay? And Coda's apparently a very introverted person. He doesn't really communicate with other people all that much. He makes these games, and then he works on them for, like, months, and then he and then he sends them to this guy, and then he's done. He doesn't work on it, doesn't release it, and they got and the developer is like, I wanted to share your games with people, dude. And I'm already saying too much because that is like half the game. That plot is it is so short of a game. Even for $8, I want my money back. It was like 90 minutes, 2 hours tops. So you're waiting the whole game. You're like, when's it gonna get good? When's it gonna start? And it never does. And you just like. And it's like, oh, that's the twist. There is no twist. No! And it's just this very simple, dull little game where there's barely anything to do. There's some neat imagery. I mean, it's got that blocky, like, black and white, very, like, you know, like, cheapo Steam indie games can have a very, that little kind of niche look to them. And a lot of the games are very surreal. They don't, like, make a lot of three-dimensional sense. Like, there's a house on just this wide open, like, hill that just keeps coming up, and there's, like, no background. It's, like, pure white. What the story ends up being about is just, like, okay. Really, it's supposed to connect with you emotionally, but considering the subject matter, like, no, that came off as whiny and pathetic. Like, grow up, being such a baby. And I can't really say anymore because I'd be spoiling it. And then if I spoil it, and then you do buy it, you have literally wasted $8. And it's just, it feels like such a bait and switch and such a con. And I'm like, I didn't enjoy this at all. And I gotta give The Beginner's Guide a 2 out of 10. F you! You, I'm fucking arresting you! Hey man, The Beginner's Guide is a good game. Shut the f*** up! Like, people are gonna start talking about this game way more than they should. It's like, oh, what does it mean? Is the developer really like the developer himself, or is it the fourth wall? It's like, it's not good enough to deserve that. Thank you for watching. I'm Wesley Thompson. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you'd like to join the crusade against everything evil, because with God on our side, we shall prevail.